I'm Matt White, President and CEO of Meter Technology Works and also the Coupling King. This is our mascot, Tigger, and we'd like to welcome you and enjoy the tour. I'm going to answer the question of what is a water meter. Basically, pretty much everybody in the United States has a water meter out in front of their house. It captures all the water that goes into the house, and that's where you get your water bill. A lot of different styles. Come over here and I'll show you. These are some of the manufacturers, some of the different meters that we offer from our manufacturers across the country. You can see there's different sizes, different shapes, and there's different things on top of the meter. Some of them have wires, some of them are electronic, but there's all different kinds. I'd like to tell you what a water submeter is. You've seen the nice graphic, but just to show you visually, well, I'll explain first. Water submeters are typically installed in an apartment. If you've ever lived in an apartment, that water submeter is usually in a utility closet with the air handler and the hot water heater. Because there's limited space, you see some of our submeters, the ones that we make and we sell the most of are these ones in red and blue, and then the little guy over here. You notice they're a little bit smaller than the meters that are out in front of people's houses. That's because of the limited space. Oftentimes there's also a wire coming out of the meter, and that wire goes to some electronics we sell. And finally, I would be remiss as the Coupling King if I didn't point to our line of meter couplings. Several different sizes, but mostly we sell these smaller sizes, and we sell about 400,000 pieces of those a year. So that's why I'm the Coupling King. Okay, so let's continue our tour. We're going to go talk to Ed Cook, my business partner, and you probably read a lot about him if you've read our application, so we'll see what he's all about. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I think this might be our new employee. Oh, it is our new employee! How exciting! Get to work! Now I'd like to take you through our engineering department and on through to our test labs so you can see some cool stuff. This is Steve.
Hey.
Quality manager. And Steve, tell them what you're up to.
So right now I'm working on ISO certification for the company. We figured that with our growth and that we needed to get ISO certified, so we're working with a outside consultant company called Core, and we're pretty close to having that completed in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. I'll walk through Martin's office. He's our VP of Engineering. Don't look around in here. It's kind of messy. And should see something cool here. Yep. Our lead engineer, Eric, is working on the design for our new meter. What Eric does is when he designs those parts, he prints them on our 3D printer. That's a different print that's going on right now. That 3D printer does a little bit of a validation to make sure the model looks right and the size is right when we can use it to test fit. But then he sends it out to a third party where we have it made out of a material that's actually structurally sound. Eric, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically 3D prints it into it's equivalent to nylon, so it's a really tough material that you can actually use, and we actually assemble it with the meter parts in it and put it on our line and pressurize it to 80 psi and don't have any issues with it. So
we're going to take a look at that in a few minutes. We'll head back to the old lab. This is what we used to have to work with. This was kind of our entire lab setup. This is an older Ford test bench, but we'll fire that up just so I can show you what that looks like.
I don't know if I would do that yet.
Well, I've been doing this for years. I'm the one that set this thing up, so I'm pretty sure I got a handle on it. All right. Yeah. You were right. You were right. Yeah. Probably not do that. Okay. Let's go say hi to Mark.
Hey, Martin. Hey, you been messing with the bench again?
No.
I think you have.
Can you tell the folks a little bit about what you're up to here in the lab?
Yes, absolutely. This is our accuracy bench, which is a little bit more high-tech, and we don't get so wet using this one. We use it properly. So basically, any new design like what you saw in there will come out here. We'll have a prototype. We will test it with accuracy on a very high resolution scale, so we can weigh the water and we compare it to the reading on the meter to see how accurate it is and that it meets all our standards and requirements. We've also then, once we do the accuracy test and we prove the meter out, we would then put it on our endurance bench at the back here, which would then run a lot of gallons through it to try to simulate 20 years of use out in the field. And then we would retest it to make sure everything is good.
Can you show us some of the other equipment we
Yeah.
got?
So over here in the corner, we have what we call a cyclic rig, and this will be testing from 100 up to 300 psi, and it does 100,000 cycles. So it just puts the meters through its paces to make sure over its 20-year lifespan we're not going to have any problems with the pressure. We also have environmental chambers, one here and a large one in the corner. And when we're not making our baked potatoes for lunch, we test the meters and all our product to make sure it's going to meet all the temperature requirements in the field. We also have another fixture here, which again was made in-house, where we test our hot water meters with the required hot water temperature, and sometimes we'll add in chlorine and do extra tests like that, just to make sure our meters meet everything for the customer. Up here, we actually have what we call a gravity feed, as the some of the meters actually get affected with the pumps and the pulsations, so this allows us to test with no fluctuation in the water at all at a low pressure, makes the meters a lot more accurate.
Thanks, Martin.
You're very welcome.
I'd like to introduce you to my business partner, Ed Cook. Ed Cook started with me back in 2011 when we really got things rolling, and he was my motivation. Now he runs operations, which is pretty much everything from shipping to receiving to order fulfillment. And right now, I think we get to watch order fulfillment.
Order up!
Let's say hi to our sales manager, Chris Williamson. What are you up to there, buddy?
Hey Matt, what's going on?
What you got going?
Just going over sales numbers, preparing for a big client meeting here shortly.
Is that who the cocktail's for?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. How's sales been going?
Going well, but you know that 16.5 million that you tasked me with last year, you know, that we were able to do is nothing in comparison to the 22.5 that I'm trying to figure out how to get done this year. That's what the cocktails were for.
Ah, I see.
Big client meeting.
Okay, all right. I see you got your graphs up on your computer, so I know that you're working. I'll let you get back to it.
All right, see ya.
Right, we're going to say hi to Joe, our CFO, and Joe's job has been pretty difficult. Again, in our growth mode, we try and rely on our own cash as much as we can. Of course, we have to go to the bank from time to time. Shout out to Regions. But Joe's got it pretty hard trying to get all the money in to pay for all the growth. So let's see what he's up to. Hey Joe, you give me some of that sweet money?
Oh, Matt, how's it going?
Doing okay. How's collections?
Oh, you know, every penny counts.
Here's my 2 cents.
We don't take Canadian pennies, Matt.
Sorry about that.
There's a transaction fee on those.
My bad. Can you tell us some of the things that you've been working on to make us more efficient?
Yeah, I'd say 3 of the main things. The first thing is going to be the biller exchange program. The biller exchange program is like a pilot program that we did with Regions about 1.5 years back. And basically, they didn't have a platform on QuickBooks, so we were kind of like the guinea pigs on QuickBooks. So basically what we did is we worked with them, and it was about a 3-month process. And the nice thing is, still to this day, they call me and they ask me if, how can we help new clients coming on board with QuickBooks. And basically, the reports that we ran, they weren't as cut and dry as they thought they'd be. So it's a little bit of trying to adjust those reports. So that was a big thing there, and it's nice to be partnered with them, and they've shown us.
Awesome. And if you would please talk a little bit about the cash flow model, because that's real important to me, not only to the company.
So the cash flow model, QuickBooks does not have the best cash flow model in the world. So what we did is we created a snapshot of basically where we are week to week, the bills that need to be paid, the deposits that are coming in, basically on a daily basis. It's done every morning, so we know exactly where we're going to be, which is just, it's very helpful in determining what money goes out, because we do run pretty lean and in our growth mode, so we have to be on top of things day by day.
That's awesome. It has been a huge help. Equally as important has been the import tracking sheet, because we know roughly how long it takes us to get products. Pretty much we know what we sell, but explain what you did and how you did that graphically for us.
So basically with the import tracking sheet, we are able to tell now where basically when we need to order, which was a big thing. It projects 6 months out, so we can see ahead of time, because a lot of times when you have product coming over from China, you have lead times that are, can be as much as 3 months from the PO being put into the when it actually docks here. So that basically just shows us, it takes into account past sales, what we have on hand, basically shows us our inventory flow, and we get those mins and those maxes. We know when to order and how much to order at any given point in time, and that is done weekly.
And that is also dovetailed with our forecast. Joe's been able to configure that so the sales can put in forecast numbers in addition to what our past history of sales shows us. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of the warehouse. I'm going to talk as we walk. We typically stock, at this time, around $3 million worth of product, which gives us 6 or 7 turns. That doesn't sound really great, and it's really not that great, but we balance that against our ability to fulfill customer orders immediately. So we take the hit, we work Joe pretty hard to pay for the product, but what that does is it helps Chris when he has product available and nobody else does have the product available. It puts him in a really good negotiating position with the customer. So we have a couple of vendors in the US. Neptune is one of them, and Master Meter is another. So all of these racks are Neptune, all of these racks are Master Meter. Last but not least is our couplings. So you can see all these pallets are full of meter coupling. And that's why I'm the coupling king. So the wheel was another one of my brilliant ideas, and I'm using air quotes around brilliant. But it has added to employee morale. It's been fun, and I think everybody's enjoyed it except maybe for Joe, who's had to figure out how to come up with 135 grand in the last few months. But hey, folks have earned it. We work hard, not all goofing around.